So we're out here doing this. We've got Lily's mobile dog grooming running its engine across the street. We've got helicopters flying overhead because we had a wild night last night as the refinery over here literally exploded and started burning jet fuel.
That's crazy.
But we feel that it is time to do this anyway. So we're just going to record this and see what comes out. Here's life as it actually exists.
Yep.
A highlight and a low light from the last month. If you got a really good one that's 2 months old, I'm not gonna like call you. I'm not gonna be like, hey, Whit, you can't use that one.
Yeah.
That was 63 days ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do you want to start with?
Yeah. So what's been your low light?
It's tricky. I was thinking about that because I knew we were going to record this, and it's easy to say the cancer, and I don't mean that sounds so dramatic. I don't mean cancer like oh, I'm worried I'm going to live or die. Very inconvenient. I was coming to Southern California, thinking I was going to get some time to surf, hike, play beach volleyball, and pack and kind of get my spirit, my soul refreshed, rested, ready to go. And because of the way the skin cancer is treated and how much of it I had, I spent the whole time
6 weeks.
Yeah, six weeks. I've been
indoors,
like restricted. Yeah, I've been can't even like go on walks.
A vampire.
You know, I've been a vampire. That's what we've been describing. I've been living the vampire life, and it's been hard to watch that go. But it's funny. I'm not. If I was really gonna say what's been the hardest part so far, some of the stuff that I've had to like feel like I've had to take away from Maverick has been hard. Hey, Dad. You know, I want to go to, what's that place again where Duke and Daisy and my Jeep are? Mm-hmm. And I was like, Redding? And he's like, yeah, Redding. And like, he doesn't know, but I know that Duke, Daisy, or his Jeep, none of them are there. They're gone. And Duke and Daisy will come back, but the Jeep is gone. He's here and he talks about how much he loves his Grammy and Granddad and his cousins, and he doesn't get it yet. I can feel the weight of the cost of going.
Yeah, even we said bye to my sister, my oldest sister.
Oh yeah,
Brooke, who he calls Aunt B. She was sad. We were all sad, and when we left, Maverick was like, "I really miss Aunt B," and not realizing like he wasn't gonna get to see her for another year, maybe 2.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's good parenting. I'm not trying to make a parenting video right now, but we just kind of don't explain it all to him.
Yeah.
Like he thinks his Jeep's in Redding back. We're not like sitting him down saying we don't have a house there anymore. We're aware of these milestones where we're really pulling him away. He said goodbye to his sister Paige months ago for over a year, and even thinking about like the camper. He's like, "Are we going in Bear?" Like he still calls the truck Bear, and yeah, it's a lot. It feels like to take away from someone so young to like understand.
How do you feel like God's been showing up on that?
I was trying to like frame it. How is it God showing up? I feel like I have a relationship with God. I feel like we're friends. We know each other really well, and I'm happy to I like that it has a cost. I think he's worth the cost to such an extent that like it's hard, but it's not a deterrent. And so I think where he's showing up in it is that actually it would be the same as like in a marriage. I think it invites an intimacy when you sacrifice for your spouse, right? And so how he's showing up in it is it inspires intimacy when you're like, no, this isn't a philosophy. My camper's gone. The Jeep is gone. The dogs are in Canada. Like this is real life, and I think there's just a level of closeness that comes through that process. What's your low light?
I would say it was last week, where I felt like I was ready to give up. I have felt like these last, I would say 3 months, it have felt like this pressure that's coming both from external, like saying goodbye to a lot of comforts, a lot of familiarity, a lot of transition, moving into here with your parents, selling everything, anticipating selling even more, financial pressure, struggle. Our marriage got attacked wildly, like the D word was coming out of my mouth like a lot. Just so much pressure and transition and attacks, but also internal, like a restlessness, uncertainty, fear, feeling just not worthy of the call. And saying prayers like every day. Okay, Lord, like, can you show up in this? Lord, where are you? Where do you want us to be in this? Like, really going to him daily,
hours
asking
daily,
him to show us a sign, affirm, breakthrough. Like, we need breakthrough before we go to South Africa.
And I don't want this to sound like Whit reads like you, it's not like you're reading Jesus Calling in the morning and then saying, wow, okay, that was some good scripture. This is like on your knees, like worship. Where are you, Dad? You know, like this is like raw, intimate asking, and still, feeling like he's distant.
So, and then just watching Jake go through his pain emotionally, physically, for 6 weeks of, just, it was really just like it has felt like a very dark season. We've been in the wilderness for sure. And so we've gotten a lot of encouragement from the Bible about what the wilderness season entails. Like, how do you find God in the wilderness? And so that's been really beautiful. But last week, I was actually feeling pretty good. Was going for a walk by the beach, and suddenly it was like something cracked inside of me where this vulnerability and honesty with God just came out, like oozing out. And I just started sobbing as I was walking for hours, being like, you know what? I don't think you're a good dad. I think you're a cruel dad who gives promises to then leave us stranded and hoping that you're going to come through. Like, just on and on, like questioning the Bible and just talking to him about it out loud and literally having a conversation out loud. Like, I look like a crazy person on the beach, just snot like coming out of my nose, sobbing, and more raw and real than I've been since I was in 8th grade, at a pretty pivotal time in my life. And I even brought that up to him. And then I messaged Jake and I just said, hey, do you want to grab lunch? Like, I'm not in a good place, just so you know. And while we were having lunch, it was just really cool that we got to be really honest with each other. It didn't feel like a happy moment, but it was at least where we could both come in agreement of our disappointments. And then Jake gave me space. I was like, I don't want to talk about Jesus right now. I don't even want to bless the food.
We didn't bless the food. It's like the only time ever like since we met.
Our toddler, where he's like refusing to pray. He's like, no, I don't want to. And Jake's like, do you want to pray? And I'm like, no, I'm not praying.
I prayed.
So I had a bit of a tantrum
inside.
But yeah, just giving myself some space from God, from my normal routines, and just relationship with him. And yeah, I would say it was pretty intense.
So what's your take on how that sort of experience is tied to this transition season?
I do believe that my faith is digging a deeper well. And I think part of that deeper well is a bit of like sweat and tears and like hard work. And I don't mean to say like it's all on me. But I do believe that there are, in the deepening of my faith, there are points of like, am I going to choose to go deeper? And that transition is what puts so much of that pressure
I
on
agree.
it.
It exposes it.
Yeah. It exposes and gives you the opportunity to keep going deeper. Or are you going to quit and say like, I don't want to go this deep, and I it's too much for me.
Maybe you actually know the name. It's a semi-famous pastor of a church, and he said faith is spelled RISK. And I think, and his point in that is that you don't know the volume of your faith until the volume of the risk puts it to its edge.
Yeah.
Right? Like you have to get to the edge. And then now I'm thinking Top Gun. You never know what you can do until you get outside where you can go. I think this has pushed both of us outside of anything that we thought our life would ever be.
You know, a lot of people are like, oh, well, I would love to go to South Africa, but it's just financially doesn't fit into the budget.
We
like,
totally laugh every time.
Such a myth. Like, we
Yeah.
don't financially, like, nothing. An accountant would look and be like, you guys are moronic
Yeah.
to go to South Africa. Like, it literally doesn't make any logical sense. We don't know where we're gonna live. We don't know a car. Like, we have nothing planned, and the finances that we do have, we're like, oh, well, hopefully that'll be good.
All we know is when they're going to run out.
Yeah.
Like it's not till we get back.
No.
Right?
No.
When we come back with nothing. It's pressure.
Yeah.
No question, but also adventure. So it's like an interesting.
But just the adventure that we're not, you know, the Lord is kind, and he has been prepping us for this. But even this is like so far out of our own comfort zone that we're like, yeah, God, you have to show up big in order for this to come.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that I've seen God in that. It was probably a few days later, I felt the Father's delight in my honesty.
For sure.
And
I could even feel that day.
yeah. And it was almost like a I'm sad that you're feeling this way from the Father. And I'm so glad that you came to me with such rawness instead of going to someone else or something else, which is what I'm on default used to doing. And so it was almost like a invitation for a deeper intimacy that I didn't even know that I wanted or needed. Well, wanted for sure, but didn't know it would look so raw.
Is any piece of that tangible since you and God kind of got back on better terms again? Mm-hmm. and you had that intimate experience? Any difference in how you perceive him?
Well, I felt like the Lord woke me up at 1:30, and I was just wide awake, and I was like, oh yeah, this is the Lord. And for 2 hours I was really hoping that I would hear something from him for why he woke me up, or have some kind of encounter or experience, and I didn't have either.
Turns out he was just getting back at you for talking bad about him before.
Yeah, exactly. But it was really just like the delight of hanging out, and that's new. You know, like I think before I've had such an agenda when I come to the Father, like I need this, or I don't know, a little bit more formalized or religious, and this felt more relational.
I don't care if you fall asleep. I just want you on my shoulder while I watch this movie.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a new level of relation with the Lord for sure. What's been a high from this low?
When we did our visa, a few things happened. One is that when we were in Reading, I actually went and pretended like I was going to get a visa application in Los Angeles, but I didn't have the ID, so I couldn't actually schedule it. We had to get California ID, so we didn't have to go to Washington, D.C. So I went on there, and I had to stop because I didn't have the right ID, but I could see, I could schedule a visa appointment anytime I want. In the next 3 days, I could just pick anytime I wanted. There's going to be no problem. So I kind of checked it off. I'm like, I'll get back to that once we have all the paperwork in place, and then I'll know the date and we'll just go. I didn't want to try to guess the date without knowing when the paperwork between now and then was going to come in. Thought I was being smart. Well, then right as it was getting to be like, okay, now it is the time, we've learned that there were no visa appointments. And so I even put it in ChatGPT. I'm like, did something change? And it's like, yeah, they actually changed their hours. And it's not available anymore. And so there was nothing. And so we were going to have to wait. And so then we scheduled one in Washington, D.C., thinking that, hey, if we need to go to Washington, D.C., we need to go to Washington, D.C. So we were able to get that one. But then just miraculously, we were able to get one right in L.A. Right,
only one.
Like quick. It's like one. Yeah, like you look at the thing, like looking at a concert or campgrounds or something like that. It's like hours and days. It's like out of all the days, all the hours, there was one spot that was open, and I was like, just clicked it. Like, could this be real? Am I really, you feel like it's gonna say like, oh no, it's already booked, or something like that. And sure enough, we had it scheduled, and then we went down there, And we did it, and that was a big stress for me because I thought it was a lot of paperwork and a lot of questions that someone was going to kind of go through with a fine-tooth comb. And I'm like, I'm sure I missed something somewhere. And I even did. She let me correct a little bit of it right as I turned it in. She's like, why'd you write this here? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. What do you want me to write? And then within 2 days, our visas were approved. And then we went another 2 days after that. You and I got to go pick them up, had this amazing date at some super incredible Ukrainian food at a random spot in Mid-City. And that was an amazing day of just celebration and happiness. And like one of the things that I thought was going to be our biggest hurdle, it just went. I even had the experience yesterday of finding all these. I was kind of cleaning up some files on the computer and some files in my desk of things that like, oh no, I got to keep these papers. They really, I'm like, I could need all of them. And I'm like, oh no, like I already have like checklists of how are we going to get this visa. And I'm like, oh, delete. I like have the visa, So yeah, it was really nice yesterday to delete those.
I would say Deb and Gary are helping support us with some finances, and it was a big ask, and we're gonna pay it back, and but just their yes meant so much. They don't fully understand like why we would do this now and for that long, and I get it. It doesn't make much logical sense on many levels, but we do feel called by the Lord, and so we want to be obedient, and we feel that we are. And so for them to be at a place where they're being asked to sacrifice, be away from Maverick, and miss us on Christmas and holidays, and then for them to be like, hey, we can be there financially for you for this amount, it just meant more than they know. And it felt like God coming through in a really, really big way that we had been praying months for, how it was going to happen through their own yes and sacrifice.
It's funny, this is coming up right now, and I don't know if this is a good direction to go or not, but I remember earlier on in our relationship, a lot of times when you would come here, you felt almost like the love they were pouring out on you, the love my family was pouring out, it didn't match your identity of what you deserve to receive. And so then seeing this, like this isn't like we see Jesus' call on your life and we want to sow into the mission. This is a little bit like we're praying that Jesus doesn't call you away from us. Like we are going to miss Maverick. I'm sure they're going to miss us too, but they're going to miss Maverick. Yeah. And so this is like pure sacrifice. It is obedience on their part. I mean, in a grand scheme, but it's like without any of the heart matching, that makes it easier of like, oh, I love to do this for you. That basically they have a bit of like hey, we don't think this is a great idea, but Whitney included, we love you and trust you enough that we'll back you anyway. Does that land in any way for you?
Yeah. I feel incredibly grateful. So grateful. And I feel like the work that the Lord has done, the Father's done in my heart, has helped me to see myself more as a daughter. And so I feel, not that I feel worthy, but I feel receptive. My capacity to receive on a greater level has increased as my identity has been more affirm in Christ. We have 25 days as of today before we're actually
out of here. Yep.
And just kind of summarizing as we're closing this up, how do you feel about that, Jake?
I feel like all of the biggest boulders that I was dreading moving, or thought were going to be hard to move, have been moved. And so at this point, there's still stuff. There's still plenty of stuff. Like, even it's funny to say, like, yeah, after 6 months, we don't even know where our money's going to come from. That doesn't feel like a big boulder. That feels like the life we've been living for the past 2.5 years, 3 years. I feel a little bit in this, there's still a few things to do. And so I get it. Like, I'm not like, I wish we were leaving tomorrow, because there's still a little bit to do. And so I'm grateful to have the time. I'm grateful to be able to say some goodbyes. And I guess the way to describe it is it feels perfect. It feels perfect. I'm like, I don't feel nervous. I don't feel scared. I don't feel impatient. I'm like, perfect. Let's do it. How about you?
Yeah, I would say similar. I feel the excitement, and because it is so close, I'm feeling the reality of so many unknowns in a new country and land and culture that I'm like, oh gosh, I want to enjoy where there's some comfort before we're just thrown into it. So a little bit of restlessness and a little bit of gratitude. Okay, I can and start to really enjoy this.
I think it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
Let's do it.